All right, so picture this. You're a musician, right? You've poured your heart and soul into your music, years of work, and then suddenly you hear it. Your song. Blaring at a political rally.
Oh, man.
For a candidate you absolutely cannot stand. And that's what we're diving into today, this whole crazy clash between musicians and, well, Donald Trump using their music.
Yeah, and what's wild is how often this happens. You know, it's not just a one-time thing. It's like a whole bunch of artists all saying, nope, not my song.
It's a big old playlist of no thanks. And the names on this list are huge. We're talking Rolling Stones, Neil Young. I mean, Heart of Gold at a Trump rally.
Doesn't quite fit, does it?
Not really, my friend. Not really.
And that's where things get interesting. A lot of these artists, they're not just objecting because they don't like the guy. It's about their rights. Like, they feel like their art, what they meant to say with it, is being totally ignored.
So how's this even legal? Can you just blast anyone's music without asking? Asking for a friend who may or may not have gotten in trouble for their karaoke night playlist?
Well, it's tricky. A lot of venues, like the big ones for rallies, they have these things called blanket licenses. Basically, it's like they pay a fee and then they can play a ton of different songs.
Ah, okay.
And campaigns, they use this thinking they can just play whatever they want.
Sneaky. But it sounds like artists aren't letting them get away with it. Spill the tea.
Oh, for sure. And it gets intense. Like, take REM, right? They're famous for, it's the end of the world as we know it. Trump used it at his rallies, and they were not happy about it. Like, at all. Called it disrespectful and everything. Made it super clear they didn't want anything to do with his campaign.
Okay, but what can they actually do about it? Besides, ranting on Twitter.
Legally, ooh, it's complicated. We'll get into that. But what's cool is how they use their fame to speak out. And fans are listening. Neil Young, he went all the way and sued the Trump campaign for using Rockin' in the Free World.
Hold up. Sued them for copyright. Now, I'm no lawyer. Explain it like I'm 5.
Basically, it means someone's using like a song or whatever without asking and maybe even making money off of it. Neil Young said Trump was using his music without permission to help his campaign, which, isn't cool.
So not just bad taste, but maybe illegal too. Yikes.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're seeing it more and more. Artists are realizing they have the power to say no and not be used for political stuff they don't believe in.
But is it always because they're against Trump himself? Or is there something else? Sometimes a song and how it's used just clash.
Totally. Sometimes it's way more than just politics. It's like their whole message is different. Like when Trump used Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival at a rally.
Okay, that's just bad.
Yeah.
Talk about missing the point of a song.
Right. John Fogerty, who wrote the song, was furious. That song's about rich Americans dodging the draft during Vietnam. He was a veteran himself. Called Trump out, said it was hypocritical, and totally ignored the song's message.
Oof, what a mess. But what's interesting? This isn't just in America, it's worldwide. Even ABBA, the Swedish pop royalty, they've had enough.
Tell me about it. They do not want Dancing Queen anywhere near a rally. They're even looking into legal stuff to make it stop.
Wow, serious stuff. This feels like it's about way more than just a few songs. It's about control, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Who gets to say how music gets used, especially online?
It really is bigger than just one artist or one politician even.
Right.
It's like, what does music even mean now, Especially online.
Yeah. Has it become like a weapon or something? Not to bring people together, but to push people apart?
It's exactly what a lot of these artists are saying.
It just feels icky, doesn't it, to have your art used like that?
Yeah, I mean, a commercial, that's one thing.
Sure.
But when it's something you totally disagree with.
Right, like your song is being used to promote something you hate.
Exactly. It's a whole other level then.
Totally. And what about the fans in all of this? They're a big part of it, right?
Huge.
I mean, how many times have we seen fans go nuts online when an artist they love, their music gets used in a way that just feels wrong?
All the time. It's like a whole battlefield out there.
Social media is wild.
It is. And fans, they're not just sitting back anymore.
No, they're not just listening to the music.
They're part of the whole thing.
They're in the comments, starting petitions, calling people out.
Yeah, holding everyone accountable, artists and politicians.
It's kind of amazing, actually, when you think about it. Music, politics, fans. It's all mixed up.
Totally.
Speaking of fans, what about Sinead O'Connor? Her song, Nothing Compares to You. It was used at a Trump event, and her estate was not having it. Not one bit.
Yeah, and that one's tough, right? Because she's gone, so it's like, how do you even...
It's not like she can speak for herself anymore.
Exactly. And Cinead, she was known for speaking her mind.
Oh, yeah. She would have thoughts on this.
Big time. And her estate, they knew it. They were basically like, don't use her music to make it seem like she'd support this.
It's just wrong. And speaking of wrong, was it Beyonce who had that issue? With freedom?
Oh, yeah. Trump used that in one of his campaign videos. Oh, Beyonce shut that down so fast. Her team was like, nope. She actually gave permission to Kamala Harris to use that song.
Oh, snap. That's how you do it.
Mic drop moment, for sure.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about saying no to Trump. It was about Beyonce saying, this is who I support. This is what I believe in.
It's a powerful thing, to have that platform and to use it. Not just to say you don't like something, but to actually say what you do believe in.
It is.
And sometimes all this fighting back, it gets expensive, am I right?
Oh, yeah, it can turn into a legal nightmare.
Like what happened with Isaac Hayes' family.
Oh, man, they are not messing around.
Hold on, I'm coming at an NRA convention. Seriously.
Seriously. And they're not just asking for an apology, they're suing.
Suing for how much?
Millions for copyright infringement.
Wow, okay, so they mean business.
Absolutely. And this could change everything. If they win, it could make campaigns think twice about using any song they want.
You mean those blanket licenses won't protect them anymore?
Maybe not. It's a big deal.
So it's not just about the money for Isaac Hayes' family?
Yep.
It's about the principle.
Totally. Drawing a line and saying, our music, our message, you don't get to decide.
It makes you think all this about what music really is,
How so?
It's always been about speaking truth to power, hasn't it? Like those protest songs.
Yeah, totally.
The ones that made people uncomfortable, challenged the way things work.
Gave a voice to people who weren't being heard.
This feels similar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This whole fight over music and politics.
It does in a way, yeah.
But where does it leave us? Is there even a solution? Can music ever be, neutral? Especially these days. It's a big question for sure. Can music and politics ever really get along? Is there a way for them to exist without all this drama?
Well, it's tricky, right? But this whole thing, it's showing us that things need to change. And one of the big ones, those blanket licenses. We got to talk about those.
Yeah, those seem to be causing a lot of headaches.
Big time. They're set up to make life easy for venues and companies, but they don't really think about the artists,
Right, like what they want.
Exactly. We need to be clearer about how those licenses work and give artists more say in how their music gets used.
So maybe something like a don't play this at a political rally option.
Yeah. Or even let artists choose what kind of events they're okay with. We've got the technology. It's just about making it happen and putting artists' rights first, not just the money.
There it is, the money thing. It's like music becomes just another product, something to buy and sell.
And when that happens, you lose the heart of it, the art itself.
For sure. And it's not just on the music industry to figure this out. I think, listeners, we've got a job too, right?
Absolutely. We can be smarter about the music we listen to. Like when you hear a song at a rally, don't just go with it.
Yeah.
Think about the artist, what they're about, what the song really means. Does it feel right?
So do your research. Make sure you're not supporting something you don't believe in.
Exactly. If we don't say anything, it's like we're okay with it. And with something like music, it's personal, our voices matter.
This whole conversation has really changed how I see music, even background music. It's not just noise, is it? There's a person behind every song, a story, a whole purpose.
Totally. To just use it however you want. Disrespectful.
Yeah, really disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we go from here? What do we tell our listeners? The ones who are probably rethinking their playlists right now.
It starts with being aware. Pay attention to the music you hear, how it's being used. Ask questions, call out the BS when you see it, because music should bring us together, not tear us apart.
Well said. And on that note, dear listeners, we leave you with this. Next time you hear a familiar tune at a rally, a protest, wherever, stop. Think about the artist. Think about their message. Is their music being used with respect, or is it being taken for a ride? It's a question worth asking. And that's our deep dive for today.